Hey guys, Justin here. Today we're going to talk about type 1 diabetes. What is type 1 diabetes? Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder in which the immune system attacks cells in the pancreas, the insulin producing cells in the pancreas. These cells typically don't replicate very quickly. Formation of new cells is rare. So type 1 diabetes has long been considered irreversible. Like once these cells are shut down, they don't usually turn back on. I want to cover a couple keywords because this study is really interesting, but a couple keywords so this process goes a little smoother. Epigenetics is just a big word describing the idea that gene expression can be turned on or off in cells based on certain stimuli. The next word is, well, three words, a fasting mimicking diet. A fasting mimic diet is basically just exactly as the name sounds. It's a diet that mimics a fast. Doctors found that water fasts were kind of hard, or psychologically hard. So, it's hard for people to do. So they have a diet that mimics the benefits of a fast without it being an actual fast. It's a reduced calorie diet for 5 days out of the month. It's low calorie, low protein, low carb, high fat. So like I said, 5 days out of the month, restricted eating, and then the rest of the month is you're free, whatever you want. So refeed. That refeed is important, but I'll talk about that later. Now I got that out of the way. Let's talk about the study. So scientists took mice. They had two groups. They have their control group, and then they have one group that's doing the fasting mimicking diet. They inject all the mice with this serum that shuts down those cells in the pancreas, the insulin producing cells, the same way type 1 diabetes would. What they found, the control group, they let eat whatever, and of course their blood sugar or their blood glucose and insulin levels went through the roof. Obviously that's not good. The fasting mimicking diet mice, however, around day 50 had normal blood glucose and insulin levels. A glucose test showed that they were able to remove excess glucose normally. So, awesome, right? Scientists are like, cool, we got the, they got the end result they wanted. Oh no, there's a car coming. Oh, two cars. Hello there. Give this guy a couple minutes. The other side of the road. Damn it! I lost my train of thought. Okay, so scientists have got, they got the benefit they wanted. They figured, they're like, okay, cool. This is, they got, the end result they wanted. They wanted to figure out how they got there. How does it work? So they use this cool cell staining technique, in which they found that previously those cells that had been turned off were now functioning properly. Like those cells had been redifferentiated into fully functioning cells, which is the epigenetics term I was talking about earlier. Those cells now had the stimuli to be turned on and work properly. So this is, which is pretty cool. And then the next step to this is that they found that they studied the mice and they looked for the gene expression profiles of these mice that had gone through the fasting mimicking diet protocol, and they found that these mice, their gene profiles resembled that of the gene profiles of like the embryonic and fetal stages of life. So early stages of life, your body's your cells are creating all these functions, right? Like, so in my body, I don't have to think and tell my pancreas, like, hey bro, I just ate, can you make some insulin for me? Like, it just does it automatically. So during the embryonic and fetal stages, your cells are creating all these functions at a very high rate. And so you don't really see that kind of gene expression at any other time in life. However, this study shows that they found that after this fasting mimicking diet protocol, these mice were having gene expression at, their gene expression profile was mirroring that, which, this is really great for type 1 diabetes, but I think it's really incredible for a lot of other diseases. I think that's going to have play a big role in health moving forward. Okay, so what does this mean for humans? What does this mean for, how does this, this study was done on mice, obviously. How does this correlate? How does this transition over? Does this mean that a fasting mimicking diet, would fix type 1 diabetes or reverse type 1 diabetes in humans? Oh man, it's a busy day. There's not normally cars on this road. Um, I'm gonna say no. I think obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional here. But if in humans, right, that I said it was a type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune or an autoimmune disorder in which the body shuts, the immune system is attacking these cells. So even if you use a fasting mimicking diet and you turn these cells back on, the underlying root cause of the autoimmune disorder is still going to attack those cells and turn them back off, and I feel like you're just going to be in a constant struggle. It's an uphill battle. So ultimately, I think you'd have to also address the autoimmune disorder, which typically I would say, like, I'm just gonna ballpark and say like 80% of the time autoimmune disorder is usually just stress. But in this particular instance, I would look a lot toward like food intolerances. I mean, again, I would imagine that what's happening is more than likely a food intolerance causing an antibody that's cross-reacting with the cells in the pancreas, causing them to shut down. Obviously, the more studies are gonna have to be done on this. Unfortunately, the human trials were supposed to start last year, but because of COVID, it got pushed back. There's quite a few blog posts about this and a lot of people trying this, but that's all obviously anecdotal. Let's see what's next. I think that's pretty much most of it. Obviously, this would be something that you'd have to work with your doctor on. If you have thyroid issues, fasting can be, I don't know, fasting is like a double-edged sword for people that have thyroid issues. So again, this is something you have to discuss with your doctor and see out. But I think it's really exciting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So comment your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Is this what do you think is the future of type 1 diabetes? See ya.